everybody, this is April the Artistic Gardener. Hey, welcome to my garden this morning. It is, I believe, Wednesday, May 16th. And I have to apologize because I didn't get much sleep last night. I was up kind of late planting. The last several days I've been on a planting marathon here, planting out a little over 300 plants. And I know it's a little over 300 plants because I grew every single one of these. And I know the count, but I know that the number's going to go up even from there because especially once I do my direct sowing, which I have not done yet. I've just been focused on getting these seedlings out. So as you can see, it's kind of, it's getting there. I'm almost finished. I just have a couple more plants in here. I'll just kind of pan this bed. This is a 16 by 4 foot bed. And I think I have, just about 60 plants, maybe, a little bit over 60 plants in here. And some of you, as I'm kind of panning this, those with a keen eye may have noticed that there's wood mulch on my beds. Yep, you would be absolutely correct. There is wood mulch. And this is wood mulch that I got from local tree services, and they chip up the wood, and they take down local trees, and they chip it up, and they drop it off here, and I use it. And I use it when I have it. I actually, if I look at my ground, it's like, yeah, I'm way overdue. But actually, this area here, I cleared out for my girls, my ducks. They were helping me clean out my beds and stuff. You can see. I still have some stuff over in this bed here, but yeah. So all over on my soil, it's way thinner than I would really like it. But this particular area, I did move the mulch out of here. But I do like to keep at least a good, 6 inches or so of wood mulch on the ground, and then at least, like about 3 to 4 inches, if not a little bit more, on my beds. And there's many reasons why I use wood mulch on my beds, and I recommend everyone else to use wood mulch on their beds. The main top two that come to mind right off the bat is water conservation, moisture retention, and then also keeping the roots cool and cooler during the summer months. So, both very extremely important in our environment. And I know some of you, may be using like the silver mulch, straw, there's a number of things that people use on their beds, newspaper, things like that. And, and it's a personal decision, and I grow regeneratively, so I do remineralize. It also involves a large amount of biological, aspects to my gardening as well. So for me, the wood mulch makes 1001% sense because it also assists the biology in your soil, the life in your soil, with the breaking down of your wood chips and adding back the organic matter, and they just thrive in it. And I just don't see that with things like silver mulch and, and then, like with straw, I just, again, I personally don't like to use it. This stuff in the wind, it stays put. It doesn't blow out, doesn't blow around, just because it's a heavier material. Straw, that stuff would give it a good, 60 mile per hour wind, 40 mile per hour wind. That stuff kind of comes out. And there's other reasons why I just choose not to use straw directly on top of my soil. But this stuff here is from local tree services. They break down, they're tearing down trees, and they're just mulching it up, and then they deliver it, and here I've got it here for me. So what I wanted to do was show you today a little bit of how I just kind of, put the mulch down on my beds here. And you'll notice also that, some of my bed has wood mulch and another area does not. So the reason for that is because I just got finished planting last night. I told you I was doing this marathon, and I just, 10 o'clock at night, can't see, I don't really have lights out here, so I was, using some makeshift lights that just kind of attached to my framework here on my bed. So I just did not have the capacity, so I'm doing it this morning. So let me go ahead and kind of show you, and again, I do about, 4 inches, and I do replenish this stuff throughout the year, but yeah, it's pretty simple, and so this stuff is nice and textury, if you want to call it that. And I pay a lot of attention to the edges here, because these edges here on the beds and pots, and I do use this stuff in pots as well, but this stuff will dry out very, very quickly, and you'll start seeing like like hard soil, crusty soil, and that's basically the salts, that it's wicking up those salts up to the into the root zone and onto the top layer here, which is never, ever, ever a good thing here in the desert. So we try to mitigate that, and we can do that through the use of wood mulch. So I really pile this stuff up here on these edges. So I make sure that it gets a really nice, thick coat here, at least 4 inches. So I really pile it up, and then what I'll do afterwards is I'll go in with the hose just initially, and I will water this stuff in, and we're good to go. The soil stays pretty moist. You can see my netafim has come on here, so it's dripping, which is a very good thing. And I have put some around my little tomatoes here, and these are Juan Flames, and I just, with everything going on this year, I just did not get to my usual bed or two filled with tomatoes, but these guys here, they do fantastic in our summer heat they produce, so I'm hopeful that these guys are going to get big enough and give me something through the summer and definitely into fall. So let me just get some more wood mulch here for you, and you'll see, I kind of break it up, and there's a lot of pine needles and things like that in there, which, it's excellent. And I'm sure some of you are going, oh no, the pine needles, they're gonna, raise the acidity of your soil. Well, no. No. There are lots and lots of studies out there that prove that doesn't really happen, at least in a very short time frame. This stuff, pine needles take forever to really break down and make any impact into your soil like that. Plus, I'm not mixing this stuff at this stage into my soil, and this stuff is not fresh either. So, yeah, I don't worry about that. And if, people are trying to, and I've heard so many things about wood mulch. Oh, it'll bring the bugs, and bullcocky. No, it actually, I've never, and I've been using wood mulch in my beds for about 8 years or so, and in fact, I have less issues with pests. They don't go in there. I don't really have, like cockroaches and beetles and crickets and stuff in my beds, because what the mulch does is it actually brings in the good guys. The ones, the things that you want in your gardens, like geckos. They love when your soil's moist, especially right along these edges of your beds. That's, they'll kind of go into the edges there, and they make their home, and they have their babies, and then they go and they eat the, whatever, any pests running around. So, I've never, and everybody else that I've recommended it to, and they actually use it, nobody's reporting back that they're having bug problems as a result of the wood mulch. Now, if they have bug problems, they really need to, look at their plants and their soil that's where they're having their issues, and that's why they're bringing, you know, pest infestations into their garden, not the wood mulch, folks. You know, but yeah, you can see that I'm really getting, you know, real close in there, so you can barely even see. I just have maybe a little bit of a space, sometimes not. Sometimes I just bring it right up. Yeah, especially as the older the plant gets, it goes right up. And you can see it actually kind of makes a nice little prop for the leaves here. So I really get it down in there. And if there's any big chunks, or, you know, things like, you know, like pine cone chunks, or, you know, palm tree, which, you know, I hate palm trees. Sorry, folks. If it's a date palm, wonderful. But yeah, but the dates, not the date, but the palm stuff here, it just takes forever to break down. If you want to use it in your paths, you know, go for it. But in your beds, I really don't like it in my beds. But, so yeah, you can see that, you know, I've gone pretty darn close in there, and this will make this guy real happy, especially tomatoes. Yeah, because I really like that consistent moisture, and this will really do it for you. And I just saw, yeah, so if you find little rocks and stuff, just toss them out, and then any big chunks, toss them out, or, you know, just throw them into an area like this. Yeah, and you can see, you know, if I had my two hands, this would be done very, very quickly. So you can see I'm just kind of loading that up. And so, yeah, some of you are saying, well, April, what about, you know, you're going to direct sow? Well, you know, that's super easy. You just, you know, kind of swipe it back and do your direct sowing, and then just leave this area kind of, I just kind of sprinkle it on over seeds so the seeds could come up through, but I've never had problems with direct sowing like that. So I would take this guy out. Oops. Yep, and then just, yeah, and a bucket like this, so this is actually a pot, works really nice, you know, so I don't have to keep making trips back and forth. Yeah, and then if, you know, there's like some soil in here, if that, you know, goes in there from the wood chips breaking down, that's good too. So I will walk over here and go get some more. As you can see, I've got, oh, yeah, so lots of cucumbers this year. I'm actually doing some tests with cucumbers. But let me just grab a little bit more here, because I wanted to show you what you do with like some of the smaller plants here. So I'll just get a little bit and then we'll wrap it up. So we'll walk back. So here is, let me actually come over here. So I have this little guy, and this is a flower. And you can see I have borage coming up all over the place in my bed. He's right here. So I've been just relocating. This is like the perfect size. You can actually just, you know, get underneath, dig them up, and you'll have the whole root system. And then you can just drop them, you know, put them in a little hole and put them somewhere else in the garden. But so for something like this plant, where, yeah, and I know I just buried them. Where it's very, very tight, oops, sorry, very tight up against the plant. So I just kind of, you know, I'll try to lift up the leaves a little bit, just do my best to get it around, but I do not bury the plant. So you can see, I take any big chunks that might be covering the leaves, and I take the wood mulch off the leaves. Come over here. There's a big chunk. And let me see if I can get my other hand in here. But yeah, you just, you know, and it's obviously not going to be as thick in other areas, but as this plant grows, I can most definitely add some more. I just want the soil covered, even a little bit, and that will help maintain the moisture in this bed. Because, yeah, and you don't want to cover it. You don't want this wood mulch on the leaves, because it's not, it needs to have the sunlight so, you know, it can, you know, do its photosynthesis process. Yeah, and this is, you know, I'll kind of look at even at the wood mulch too as I'm putting it down, looking for small smaller bits here. But there it is. That's it. So thank you, folks. I hope this was helpful and you learned something today. And yeah, go mulch. Happy gardening, you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.